Robert F. Kennedy ran for president as a Democrat and then an independent, and then he threw his weight behind President Trump.
And don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
And now he comes to his confirmation hearings to be Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. Kennedy can only afford to lose a handful of Republican votes before he starts needing Democrats to vote for him as well. Here are the 4 senators to watch. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is controversial for many reasons. He has been a very strong skeptic of vaccines, and he has done a lot of work over the last few years questioning vaccines and the science behind them and public health officials and how the pandemic was handled.
There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective.
One senator who's really concerned about his views on vaccines is Senator Bill Cassidy from Louisiana, who's a Republican. Cassidy has been very public about his support for public health and the NIH and health agencies.
I agree with him on some things and disagree on others. The food safety, I think the ultra-processed food is a problem. Vaccinations, he's wrong on.
Republicans are inclined to vote for Kennedy because he's Trump's pick. However, Kennedy is a former Democrat. He has stated pro-abortion rights views in the past, and he has a lot of questions about vaccines and other public health priorities that could really scare some Republicans.
I don't trust government to have jurisdiction over people's bodies. I think we need to leave it to the woman.
A good example of that is Senator James Lankford, who's a very strong opponent of abortion rights. And he really wants Kennedy to give some solid answers about abortion before he will feel comfortable supporting him. Democrats generally are trying to take the opportunity in the hearings to rattle Kennedy, to get him to say something that isn't politically expedient. One of those will be Senator Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts. She's already got a long list of questions for Kennedy that she's published, and she really sees Kennedy as having dangerous views that she wants exposed to the American public. One reason that some Democrats might vote for Kennedy is they tend to really like his ideas on food.
We're going to get toxic chemicals out of our food. We're going to reform the entire food system. And for that, we need new leadership in Washington.
Kennedy really wants to go up against the big food companies and go against ultra-processed food and really re-examine American diets in a way that many people feel like government hasn't been willing to do so. All of that really appeals to Democrats, including Bernie Sanders, but Sanders has qualms about Kennedy's views on vaccines, and just last week hosted a roundtable in the Senate with vaccine experts on their safety and efficacy.
And what concerns me very much is that we are at serious risk in this country of seeing the return of diseases that we have not seen in decades as a result of fewer people getting vaccinated.
Kennedy needs to clear the Finance Committee, and he's hopeful that he can get all the Republicans on it to support him. But if he doesn't, if some defect, he's going to need some Democrats to make up for that. Democrats also find themselves in the tough position of thinking this may be the best Health and Human Services Secretary from their point of view that they're going to get from the Trump administration. Kennedy is, after all, a former Democrat. So there's a little bit of a calculation of like, this might be the best we can get. It's okay to go along with him.